Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Forza Horizon 4 to test out another brand new vehicle. This week we have the Pontiac GTO Firebird, sorry. That's the other Pontiac. Anyway, we have the Pontiac Firebird 1968 model, which is a prize for doing one seasonal event, unlike the previous new car we had this update, which was of course the RSR for 50% completion of the summer season. So, as with the pattern in the previous couple of updates, we've had one new car, which was the RSR, and one recycled car, which is the Pontiac. This was, of course, previously in Forza Motorsport 4, as a lot of cars that have been sort of recycled and added to this game were. It's also the car for monthly rivals, so I have driven it briefly, and it handles as you would expect a 60s muscle car to at the moment. So, let's hop in the car. It is a Gen 1 Pontiac Firebird, which was produced between 1967 and 1969. It's a General Motors F platform, which means basically it was shared a platform with the first gen Camaro. They wanted to develop their own car apparently, but at the time Chevrolet thought it would compete with the Camaro too much, so they were kind of offered to share it, although surely it still then competes with the Camaro, although I guess instead of competing with the Camaro, it sort of is the Camaro. Anyway, this is the car. So, although it's sort of based on a Camaro, it is sort of less known and probably less sold. It's probably rarer. It's arguably better looking. One thing that's quite different about it is they sort of integrated the front bumper, so it's more streamlined looking than the Camaro with the big bit of chrome on the front. So it's slightly sleeker and modern, more modern looking, so arguably it's a better looking car. Yeah, like I say, rarer, more exclusive, probably slightly more interesting. It's got a 6.6 litre engine, the one we've got in Forza. That was the biggest engine available. There were two other V8s available with the car, as well as two inline sixes. Yeah, see, it sort of handles like a muscle car, although it's quite fun to throw around. And yeah, that's kind of all there is to it. It's a more interesting version of the 60s Camaro. If you don't know, the Firebird shared, each generation basically shared a platform with the Camaro of the time. It also has some cool looking tail lights, I like those. But yeah, that massive engine we've got, obviously there are two smaller V8s and an inline 6, but this is the big engine. This is the one we've got in Forza, which is badged as a 400 because it produces, guess how many horsepower? Yes, 335. That's why it's badged as a 400. Anyway, quite cool in here. Oh, I love the little emblem on the door, that's cool. Yeah, it's sort of muscle car it's pretty quick actually in a straight. It's not bad for a late 60s muscle car. It's only 4 gears. That's quite usual, I guess, for a car of this age. I think it's quite cool. Obviously we do have some of the, I think we have one later generation Firebird in the game. But yeah, that's kind of, I really like the front of Pontiac stuff. It's usually sort of split down the middle. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I suppose technically really we've kind of, it should drive exactly like the Camaro, which we also have in the game. This is a 68 model, I think. The Camaro is a 1969 model. I don't know why they'd do that. Surely it's easier to have the AC. So that's kind of like one of the other gen Firebirds. Anyway, they're all sort of based off this. Where is... Yeah, the Chevrolet we have is a 1969 car. 6.4... It's nearly 6.5 litres, and the Pontiac 6.6. It's a slightly smaller engine in the Camaro. 566 class, so the Camaro is higher starting PI. I don't think I've modified that. It's probably a slightly different model though. It's a year newer as well. But anyway, that's kind of all there is to its stock. It's quite low C-class. So let's head on over to the festival and see what upgrades and customization are available for our new muscle car, or technically I guess pony car if you're being picky, although yeah. Anyway, let's go to the festival and see what's available. So, what can we do with our Pontiac Firebird? I'm going to start with conversions, although I might not do this. 6.2 litre V8, so you can put in a smaller V8 or a V10. 8.4 litre, I'm assuming that's out of a Viper or something. I'm not sure about my engines in here. But anyway, we won't do that. Obviously we've got your usual all-wheel drive conversion, and you can supercharge it. Why not? Let's do that. I'll leave it rear-wheel drive probably. What have we got? Forza Aero. Forza Aero. I mean, that's cool, but that's cool. That's a shame, because you kind of lose the shape of the bonnet, which is one of the differences and more interesting things over the Camaro, and that's sort of weird. So we could go with that. I mean, if we're going, you know what? Sure, it's a classic muscle car. Let's have the massive thingy on the front. Right, what can we do with these? Should we put some race? Actually, we've got vintage race. Interesting. I really should have checked what the Camaro had. But yeah, we've got vintage race tyres. Or we've got Horizon race tyres. What should we go with? Should we put vintage? Or I think we should, as we don't do that very often, and it's a classic car. Look at those. Those are some nice fat tyres. Obviously you can bring out your truck. Look at that. It's one of the few cars that the rear wheels actually sit far enough out. It's usually the front stick out more, which I always think visually looks a bit weird. Okay, let's do our usual gearbox bits, because 1960s muscle car is not going to have a good gearbox. And we'll see where we're sitting. We'll probably get it to the top of B, I think, maybe. How does it look if we sit it down on some nice race suspension? Look at that. Not bad. It's looking a little bit better. Oh, what else can we do? Oh. If that adds weight and PI, let's not do that. Not that I'm particularly building it to be good at anything specifically, but 699, can we get it to, no, we might be able to, oh, that actually reduces it. Yeah, let's try that. Rear wheel drive in B class I think is probably about where we want it, so the horsepower's up slightly to 400, the weight's also up, but not by loads. But yeah, I think that should be okay. Let's see what it's like. But quickly, before we do head out of the garage, I'm going to check what liveries the wonderful community has come up with in the first day of the car being available. What have we got? Flames and purple. That's actually quite cool. I quite like that. The sort of simple but classic. What else have we got? What does this look like? I'll just check if this looks good. If it doesn't, we'll go all out with the flames and make it a bit mad. Yeah, that looks so much better. It's a shame it's raining. It's not going to handle brilliantly. It's rear-wheel drive, but you saw the width of those tyres. Should still grip relatively well. Not the fastest thing in the world still, because we didn't really add much power. Should grip a little bit better. It is a little bit heavier, which is a shame, but we've also now got 6 gears, which is helpful. So yeah, it is a cool thing to have. It's slightly more interesting than the Camaro it's based on, but we do already have that car, so in terms of new and different things they could add, it's not great, but it's cool that we're still getting cars added from Motorsport 4. Obviously it's better when we get something completely brand new, but it's nice that cars are returning still. Although really, anything returning should already be here. But anyway, yeah, that's what it's like in B-Class. I don't think you're going to be winning anything particularly. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be sort of average, I think. Probably upgraded. Let's just throw everything on and see how quick it is. But yeah, it should be interesting to see the cars next month. I believe we know we're getting... I think it's actually been confirmed now, not just guesses based on the Torben Tuesday stuff. Actually, I should have gone Supercharger, it's a muscle car. So yeah, we're getting a Jeep Gladiator of some... I think they did confirm which one. We're getting a Jeep Gladiator, a Citroen DS, which I think is going to be quite cool. Something quite different. It's not necessarily going to be good, but I think that's quite interesting. There was a third car as well. There's a Porsche something. I can't remember what number it is. Yeah, there's some kind of Porsche being added. And the other car we thought we might get was a DeLorean, but it doesn't look like that's happening. It's possible that we'll get it as part of the Super 7 high stakes, and it'll be a prize for that. I don't know if that's coming as well in the update. I don't think any of that was mentioned. But the symbol that was sort of giving away the DeLorean, if you saw the Torben Tuesday image, was sort of in amongst the Super 7 map sort of thing on the whiteboard. It was kind of drawn in amongst the Super 7 map, so potentially that'll be a prize for high stakes when that gets here. I do hope so, because that was probably the car I was most looking forward to when it was out of the things that were rumoured. And as it's in Forza Street, it really should come back. I think that was another car that was in Motorsport 4, like this was. A lot of interesting stuff then. So yeah, I am quite looking forward to the cars next month. I think that Citroen and the Gladiator will be new. I might not. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. Right, that's fully upgraded. Okay, let's put flames on it and then head out. Yeah, I think the Citroen and the Gladiator are new. The DeLorean would obviously be returning if it did come back. Porsche, I think, is returning. It was spotted in the game quite a while ago, actually, an image of it. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that, and obviously it's 3 cars, not 2, which is what we've been getting lately, so it's cool that they're adding a 3rd car, and potentially a 4th with the DeLorean if that's a prize for something. But if it is, I'll be testing it out, as I will with all the other cars. Friday, on whichever week they're released, I'll be testing them out. Right. Maxed out Firebird with fire on it. So it's S2 920, 1,100 horsepower, and that's a Viper engine. Wow. Okay, that's quite mad. It does look cool though, with the flames and stuff on it. All-wheel drive, Viper V10, 1,000 horsepower. It's not going to be slow. I wonder if that engine swap was available on the Camaro. I really should have checked what stuff was available for that before we started. Although, actually, it's not bad. But it's going to be completely undrivable at this point. Yeah. Pretty cool thing, and like I say, I look forward to seeing, well, we know which weeks we're getting stuff. I think it's the Gladiator next week, so I'll be testing that out next Friday. See that? Which probably is my least favourite, it's probably the least interesting part of the update. But anyway. Good to test out the new vehicles in the new season. I think, like I said, I think 2 of them are new, and 1 of them is recycled. But yeah, I will check that when we're looking at those in more detail once they're here. And it is potentially rumoured to be the last update. I don't think it will be though. Obviously they've got to stop at some point, especially if they're developing the next game. I do need to do a video kind of talking about the next game. So things have leaked since, or recently. But anyway, that's a different topic. This is going to be all for a first look at the new Pontiac Firebird, the first Gen 1, obviously. Sharing a platform with the Camaro, but quite a different thing. Looks cooler, definitely looks cooler. Especially with that paint. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be all for today's video, taking a first look at this Pontiac Firebird. I'll be back same time next week to check out the new Jeep that's going to be added. But yeah, that is going to be all for this video, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next video very soon.